Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a Monday, it's the start of a new week. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel. Tonight, my league, ZRL, are going to be practicing some LMP3s. So, here on Monza, it's just something different. I really hate the P3s, honestly, but I figured I get a head start on the practice because practice usually includes a little mini race. So last week I did a P3 race on Fuji and got caught with my pants down going extremely slow. So let's see if the rear wing will make a difference today. Okay, here we are, here we go. Gonna be weird here on Monza, being on one of the slowest cars in the game. It's got some aero, so we'll see how that works. Although I pretty much removed it. I keep forgetting how low in the revs this car shifts. I let him go. Ooh. Gotta get used to the braking too, so we'll see how that goes. Whoa! Okay, so the rear's locked up quite quickly there. Let's move the brake bias to the front a bit. Extra 2% might do the trick. Ooh. Okay, maybe some more traction control. Man, I hate these cars. Well, I guess that was one way to get tires up to temperature. Except they do have a couple of flat spots. Yep, much better on the brakes. Oh, okay. Bring that traction control. Oh, 8 is the max? Okay. Aim. Whoa. Okay. Something's throwing this car off. So, let's go with that. Let's remove this. $53. There we go. Ooh, 75. Let's try it at 95. Okay. Let's see how the default setup works. With no rear wing. Let's give it maximum traction. I get into problems here.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Good morning. Just returned from my Dada follow-up with the doctor. He has a clean bill of health. What a relief."
Good. Awesome news, Justin. Hellos, by the way. I'm doing fine. Glad things are better on your end. Clean bill of health. That's always good to hear. So as you can see, I enjoy suffering, apparently.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "More Janetta."
Yeah, well, the guys are practicing Janetta tonight. Or I should say, just P3s in general. After which they have a little race, and last week they decided to go into the servers for a race. And because nobody's ever in P3s, they all got put together in the same split. I don't know if they plan on doing that again tonight, but the practice is mainly on P3s. I figured I should probably work on my setup here to get it working without a rear wing. Just 'cause. I know how much that rear wing will make a difference. It'll add a full 1 kilometer to my top speed. But that 1 kilometer is so important. I just want to make sure that the rear does stick to the track. Ooh, locking up my brakes a lot there. Ooh. Yeah, I'm losing a little bit of the rear there. How can we compensate for that? Bring it up. This has already a bunch of Packers. Damn, I've never seen so many Packers on a car. Yeah, let's bring this back down a bit. Maybe 90%. I really don't want to put any rear wing to this car. So other than that, what's new with you today? If anything. Other than a trip to the doctors to make sure everything was fine. Anything important happening in the world of motorsports?
Justin Slim Friesen says, nothing.
Nothing happening in the world of motorsports? I didn't watch a video, but I saw a video of apparently Ferrari trying to recruit Max to replace Hamilton. I don't know if there's any truth to that. It seems far-fetched.
Justin Slim Friesen says, probably gonna jump on later, after a nap or something.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what it is. Might be all the horse manure that I've been smelling, but I feel like I need some extra Z's as well. So a nap sounds like a good idea. Damn, we're old. Yeah, well, 90 seems a good sweet spot for the brakes.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I'm always tired. Just a matter of how much. LOL.
Well, not me, but ever since I moved here, I feel like my sleep is not as profound as it could be. I mean, in theory, the stress from moving and having to, file my income taxes and making sure all the accounts and addresses change are done, and, you know, like a lot of that is in my rear view mirror. So for a while I could kind of understand why I might not be having as good as a sleep as I would like. But now it should be stabilizing out, and I don't know if it's because of the seasonal change or whatnot. And my little cat woke up this morning limping. I woke up to him seeing him limp. And I don't know what happened. Did he fall down from somewhere? Did he get into a fight with the other cat while I was sleeping? That's got me a little bit nervous. I'm hoping that, yeah, it's just something that'll pass. But that little cat was also replacing another cat I had that one day I saw him limping, figured he would get better, and 2 or 3 days later he lied down in his litter box, and I'm like, that's not right. So I go to the vet, and apparently he was too far gone. I had to put him down. Apparently, yeah, a lot of things were not right. So I never did know what happened. He was fine, and everything was fine yesterday. He was running across the yard, chasing birds, having the time of his life. Then I woke up this morning and he's limping, so I don't know what's going on, what went on. Like, I live pretty much in the living room, and they each have their room where they go to sleep at night, so I don't know how they would have gotten into a fight. They each have their cushion next to the windows, so one goes to one and the other one goes to the other. Okay, let's see how they go across this track here. Yeah, I think that brake is in a good spot. Not locking up now. How is he getting so much more speed than me? Oh, we can do this one in third? Okay, nice. I'm guessing we can do also this one in third. This car is wider than it looks. Am I just waiting too long to shift? Yeah, there's no 7th gear. What? 5 seconds on the money? 5.000. Alright. I could not have done it if I wanted to. Okay, well now it's different. Ooh, that's gonna slow me down. God, I hate this car. It's just at lower RPMs and it feels so slow. I mean, it looks like a rocket and it feels like a brick. I lost a lot of time in the parabolica.
Kareem E5X says, "What car are you driving?"
The Janetta. P3. LMP3. I feel like I'm waiting too late on the revs. tire temperatures are way up there. Need to bring down the blanking. Rears are good though. Ugh. Although maybe if I just change it to a hard tire, it would be better. Because I like that other one at 85.1. But 98 is a little bit too hot. That front left. Yeah, I'm starting to lose grip here. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay. What? Ooh, I cannot put hard tires on these cars. Okay. That is weird. But overall, I'd say that this car handles okay. Okay, well, hopefully that blanking will make a difference. The CDEA had absolutely none, and I went to full on, but maybe they knew something I didn't. Still has a tendency to lock up on cold tires, but hopefully they won't stay cold for very long. I wonder why they're practicing P3s, honestly, though. I wonder who came up with this idea and where it came
Justin Slim
from.
Friesen says, you remember when round 1 for ZRL is?
No, I do not. I'd have to look up in Discord or on the events page. Last time I looked a few days ago, though, there still wasn't any hypercars and other than Paul.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Okay, I'll check." Justin Slim Friesen says, June 4th.
Yeah, so what? That's in 2 or 3 weeks still?
Justin Slim Friesen says, and a whopping 2 high drivers now.
Really? Who's the other? I'm curious. Dang, locking up quite a bit there, and darn it.
Justin Slim Friesen says, Omar superiority.
Oh boy, okay. It rings a bell. I don't know where he finished in the last season, but I think he did okay because there wasn't like many drivers left at the end of the season, but I think he was one of them.
Justin Slim Friesen says, he joined for the last race or 2 if I remember correct.
Yeah, I don't remember. The name rings a bell, but I cannot say where he landed or when. That's still not a lot of people. And that's not going to be enough to keep the hypers around for this season. And instead of asking why not many hypercars are registering, especially even GC says a lot more people are driving hypercars than GT3s now. So is it because the race conditions aren't favorable for hypercars, or is it because in the title of the tournament there's no mention of multi-class, so people don't know about it? So is it a lack of awareness that it's a multi-class race tournament? Or is it just that there's something about it that's not interesting for hypercar racers? And don't ask me, because you'll know what I'm gonna say about it. I actually have to start looking at other seasons and races, see what's out there for hypercars.
Justin Slim Friesen says, it's because most of the ZRL guys come from ACC, so we are used the GT hashtag and don't want to change. LOL. Justin Slim Friesen says, we've all done many seasons together there.
Well, that was one of the reasons, I guess, why I left the endurance stuff, because it's a GT racing team, and there's no other hypercar drivers to join to make a team for the endurance races. So, and yes, there's Larson and Cobra, but they're on another plane of existence. Hence why I haven't been feeling inspired to keep doing some liveries for ZRL, because, you know.
Justin Slim Friesen says, as KP would say, We are ABS scum. LOL.
Yes, that I kind of would agree with. But I talked about the ABS stuff, when was it, 2 or 3 days ago in my stream? Like, when I started driving, cars didn't have it, and then cars started having it. And I hated it so much that there was a fuse in the fuse box that I could remove to disable the ABS. Because I live in winter Canada here. So it's kind of normal that in winter times, when you get to a stop sign, there's a little bit of ice or sliding going on. It's not the end of the world. But having that in the pedal really annoying me. Oh yeah, eventually I got used to ABS, but I still hate it. That's why up until 5 years ago I was still driving a 1982 Toyota pickup with drum brakes. Drums in the rear. Although you can have ABS on drum brakes, but that's beside the point. Seems like all this safety stuff that they put in cars just makes drivers even worse drivers. Whoa, no. Lost a car there. Yeah, I am gonna have to bump up the traction control. So I don't know if that's one of the reasons why I like these hypercar stuff and no ABS. And then when I get to driving a GT car, I'm confused and not finding my zone. Not finding my comfy zone under braking. I just need to get used to it, I guess. But like Wolfie says, I don't want to mess up my muscle memory. Because it's two braking philosophies completely different, and when you get used to one, I'm not good enough to be switching back and forth. It takes me a long time to get used to something. But yeah, I'm not going to be racing in the next season of ZRL, so I'm going to have to go on to sim grid and see what's out there, if anything else, for the summer. Trackalicious was disappointing. Not seeing the lack of people enrolling for the hypercars in ZRL. I don't want to just be racing with Paul, or just being 3 or 4 or 5 at the beginning of the season to just finish 1 or 2, because even Paul couldn't do all the races last season. Like, whenever his schedule allows it, he'll be in the race, but if he's busy with work, he won't be there. Although it would be funny if I was like the only one on track, hypercar, with all you GTs. At least I could drive at my pace and not push myself too much. But yeah, not gonna happen. I honestly don't know what to do.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "What's up, guys?"
Hey Mike, long time no see. What have you been up to?
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Watched most of the N24 race, then was wrecked."
Yeah, I watched a good portion of it too, but had to go to bed at some point.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "LOL. Same."
So I guess I saw the best part. Not. I guess the best part was
Mike
the
Wolf
beginning of the
BLN
race.
says, "Haha, nice one."
Because by the time I started watching, it was nighttime,
Mike
so...
Wolf BLN says, "That night stint of Max vs Morrow was epic."
So all I got to see during the night was a lot of towings on the track and a lot of footage from the pits. Went to bed and woke up and discovered that a certain Mercedes had axle issues. And was demoted to 9th position.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Oh yeah, they have special in-car cams also streaming."
Yeah, but you can't see much at night. Okay. Not to be done in 4th. 4th is a little bit too much. Are these temperatures gonna
Mike Wolf
stabilize?
BLN says, I was watching car 80 on one side and car 3 on the other, then main broadcast in the middle.
Well, I was watching a little bit of everything else. I had a hockey game and some MMA fights that I really wanted to see. And everything in between, everything that was boring, I was watching some anime. Yeah, that temperature's coming up again. That's a little bit too much. Whoa,
Mike
yeah.
BLN says. They also have free race app so you can track cars and crashes.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Mike Wolf BLN says. Like a track map.
So I gotta completely remove that. Why is the slip angle linked? Okay, because we can't change it apparently. Okay, let's save it. And that's as close as I can get with that. But I need to get out of the P3s because I'm going bonkers. Okay, I'm also gonna set up a smoke screen here. Actually, that night the MMA won me over. Out of everything that was going on, it's what kept me glued. The hockey was the most disappointing. I saw a YouTube thumbnail saying, "Hey, Canadians scored 3 goals in 3 shots." Okay, let's open that up. They were leading 3-2 and they lost 8-3. So the entire time I was watching, they never scored another goal.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I was too busy with an Alta Coke and messing with Max and Maro fans.
Okay. To each their own. Oh, did I set one up here? Apparently I did. Okay, so I don't need to change anything here. Ooh, that yellow Corvette. Strangely enough, on YouTube, whether it be real racing or sim racing, that yellow Corvette is causing trouble for everybody. Blocking and getting into scrapes and pushing competitors off track. It's funny how it's happening in both real life and
Mike
in
Wolf BLN
sim
says,
racing.
LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says, Tommy Milner.
Is that the name of the real life driver and everybody's trying to imitate him in sim racing?
Mike Wolf BLN says, you need to watch Tommy Milner vs BMW at D24. Mike Wolf BLN says, I think was 2025. Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think one pass was done through the pit exit, and he had to give the place back. But all week long, I've been seeing yellow Corvettes.
Mike Wolf BLN says, when he flipped the bird to take BMW.
But is that the guy that also got fired from the team, went to another team, now he got himself fired from the other team? Because he's doing the same stuff, crashing into everybody? For some reason I thought the guy's name was Ferguson or something. I don't.
Mike Wolf BLN says, no, not that guy.
Okay, it's not the same guy. Oh man, it feels so good to be back in the hyper. A Ferrari is still faster than me though. Not by much. But also in iRacing and in LMU.
Mike Wolf BLN says, downforce is life.
Well, the least downforce you have, the faster you are, so. And I've already cut down mine quite a bit. Any more than this, I'm gonna lose the rear. Ooh, that Ferrari hit me. But yeah, there's a lot of yellow Corvettes in LMU online.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I fell asleep whacking N24 about 6 a.m. German time, woke up just before the 3 retired the car.
Yeah, I guess the same thing for me. I stopped watching at around 4 o'clock in the morning. Or was it 3 a.m.? I forget.
Mike Wolf BLN says, was so bummed as I just wanted to see a battle.
Well, you should have watched my race yesterday. Or the day before. Or both. No, before yesterday, because yesterday I hosted a race that went in a weird way. Yeah, before yesterday I had a really good gold race. I lost the position in the last lap. And then got caught up in traffic, never could catch up to him again. For a couple of laps before the end. The last 3 laps. It was a very good race for me. Oh, so I finally worked on my setup for the rain. It made a huge difference.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I was awake but I didn't drink coffee in a few months and was on a coffee come down.
I reworked my setup for the rain. And that setup actually allowed me to race in the wet and afterwards. And I was able to use the race line without losing control. So big difference. So I was able to stay competitive up until the end. That's why I was kind of happy, even though I lost a position at the end. I actually felt like the car...
Mike Wolf BLN says, nice, Jeeps.
Yeah, because the default setup for dry really made it impossible to touch the race line during and after the rain. But I put a lot more wing to the rear and lifted the front. Raised the front a bit, and I was...
Mike Wolf BLN says, your racing line vs wet line isn't as much a thing in LMU as it is in iRacing.
Well, it's a much bigger thing in LMU, I think. When the track's saturated and the rain comes, it's bloody dangerous in LMU. If I hadn't done those setup changes, I cannot touch that. If I go where there's rubber, I will start sliding all over the place. But like I said, gave it a lot more rear wing and raised the front. So I'm a lot slower in the first half of the race on the dry. But then I stay competitive and I can race through the wet and through the...
Mike Wolf BLN says, that's what she said.
And after the rain, I was able to stay on the racing line and not lose it. And if it wasn't for the traffic, I was actually faster than the guy that passed me. Got hit in the rear. That sent me off track, so I had to let like 6 cars go through. And rejoined, so obviously some guy passed me. And I was actually catching up to him. But then we'd hit traffic and then I'd lose my advantage again and was catching up again. Hit some traffic, lost it. But at least the car is competitive. Whereas before, you know, I was holding on to dear life, trying not to lose the car. Going super slow. And letting 6-7 cars pass me. I was in great place during the rain, but as soon as the rain stopped, I had to...
I'm pretty fast in the rain.
I had to let everybody pass me. So at least now I know a little bit what to do in wet races. Bump up the rear wing, lift the front, and I should be good to race in the rain. Ooh, losing it here.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I was hoping to do a Road Atlanta endurance yesterday, but I felt awful still and glad I didn't.
Road Atlanta. I don't hate the track. I actually like the track. It's not one of my favorites or anything, but not hating a track, it goes a long way in my book. I don't mind racing if I don't hate the track.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "For me it's like a cross between Monza and Portimao."
Yeah, no, I don't see it. I don't see anything related to either one of those. If you had asked me what to compare it to, I wouldn't
Mike
know
Wolf
either.
BLN says, "LOL."
I wouldn't know which track to compare it to either. God, I hate going over that sausage. I lose so much time every time.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Big long straights, a few twisty turns like Ascari, 2 short rights-handers like Lesmos but undulating like Portimao." Whoa, okay. Completely missed that one.
No! Ugh. He was nice because I actually really wrecked that.
Mike Wolf BLN says, GG full send.
Yeah, it wasn't my choice though. Oh, yeah, no, not something I wanted to do. If it would have been a real player, that would have gotten me
Mike Wolf BLN
contact.
says, if it was Fuoko he'd have put you on the wall, but Kubica is cleaning even if only AI. Mike Wolf BLN says, cleaner.
Yep. On one hand, I want to kind of practice braking later, but it always backfires on me. I still have some old habits of braking slow and then progressing more and more, and that's...
Mike Wolf BLN says, you're actually better to brake earlier.
Yes. But I also need to brake harder earlier and then slowly let go of the pressure, which I have a habit of doing the opposite, of gently start braking and then brake harder and harder. And that's when I tend to lock up my brakes.
Mike Wolf BLN says, correct.
So that's why it often backfires on me, because I'm doing the opposite of what I should be doing. Ugh. Not easy being cheesy. I still gotta practice a lot, but I'm still having so much fun. You know, I'm not gonna get mad at myself and whatnot because I'm not performing at the level that I want to. Like, honestly, I think I'm performing better than I thought I would, no matter what. Not that I have low esteem of myself, but trying to be realistic in my capabilities, and I'm surprising myself.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yet everything is practice and muscle memory.
Yeah, but there's a limit to what I can do, but I'm already ahead of what I thought I would be able to do. And strangely enough, you know, I'm enjoying it. Sometimes you see some people and they're not performing at the level that they think that they should be performing, and they rage quit because they're not happy with their skill level. Like, we call it an ego thing. But it takes a long time to...
Mike Wolf BLN says. That's life.
Yep. It's gonna take me a long time to get better at this. And I wish I could stop late like these guys. Not gonna happen. But for now, I'm happy with my goal of being within 5 seconds of these guys. And I remember when I first started, I would always be locking up the brakes. So basically, had to put the brake pressure at 50%. And brake a lot earlier just to be able to stop the cars without locking up. It was so infuriating. Not knowing about the battery, not knowing about the regen, not knowing about the front to rear distribution in the brakes. Not knowing about changing brake bias so that you don't lock up the rears as much. It made me work on so many levels. Unfortunately, it does not make me a better GT3 driver. I'm just not as bad as hypercars as I used to be.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I used to use 80% / 95% brake presuer when I started drifting on sim, but realized it's not a good way to do it.
Well, I find that 95 is pretty much the sweet spot. But I even had to bring it down to 90 in the P3s. Because even moving the brake bias to the front, it would still lock up all 4 wheels. But I'm kind of in my sweet spot for hypercars, so I don't want to change my muscle memory too much.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I don't touch the Perbake Cruiser in LMU, but I see a lot of people doing it.
Well, it actually depends. Because, you load the setup, and from one track to another, they will change that. And I go into a corner and I'm like, why is this car not braking like it usually does? And then instead of being at 95%, it's at 87%. So, if I'm driving the same car, I just want it the same. Like, I'm not good enough to change my foot pressure
Mike
from
Wolf
track to
BLN
track
says,
on the same car.
Yet even the top people do it in LMU just seemed odd to me.
Well, when you get used to one car, you kind of want to keep it the same. It's like sometimes you look at these CDA setups, and it seems like one driver did it for one track and another driver did it for another track. So they both have two different driving styles and braking styles, and it translates into the car setup that they made for the game. Sure, one's faster on one track and the other one's faster on the other track, but if it's not the same guy that's making the setup, then it kind of throws off a couple of things. I'm pretty much used to 95% on this car and on the Genesis, so that's where I try to keep it at.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yes, totally agree. Sometimes one setup is perfect and other times the car feels too dangerous.
So I like to keep it around 95. On the Peugeot and on the Genesis. Can't say for the other cars because I haven't started driving them yet. But I do want to kind of try the others. I want to try the Alpine, I want to try the Cadillac, I want to try the Lambo, I want to try the Porsche. Eventually get around to the Ferrari. I've heard that the Ferrari is tricky to drive. I also want to get back into the Toyota. Initially I wanted to drive the Toyota. Like I said, I didn't know anything about brake regen and motor mapping and brake bias and all that stuff. I was going around Lucelle in the Toyota and losing it in every single corner.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Porsche brakes are a bit NAF compared to the Pug.
NAF, what does that mean? I was told that the Porsche brakes were awesome.
Mike Wolf BLN says, NAF equals shit.
Okay. See, I heard that the Porsche brakes were great. That it was the shining quality of the Porsche. Want to try the BMW? Apparently it's the fastest car of all of them. I don't know about the Alpine. Apparently Cadillac is the better sounding engine of them all.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Pug has the best brakes.
Well, I know they're solid compared to the Genesis. I've gotten used to drive the Genesis quite a bit, and when I tried the Peugeot, I'm like, whoa, this stops so much better. It really stops shorter. I can shorten
Mike
my
Wolf BLN
braking
says,
distances.
Caddy is good engine sound.
Yeah, see, everybody
Mike Wolf
says that.
BLN says, Ferrari is okay.
Well, I'm always seeing the Ferraris win the races, so they gotta be good.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I used to drive the Toyota a lot.
Yeah, I drove it once for an hour. I was wiping out at every single corner, couldn't figure out why. Like the first Hyper I've driven was the Valkyrie. Because everybody says if you're a beginner, start with that car because you don't have to worry about the VE. So I did a couple of races. Kind of liked it.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Alpine was good also but slow.
Wanted to try the Toyota, and
Mike Wolf BLN says, the rest I didn't use to see more than a race or two.
yeah, see, that's why I want to try them all. Like, I couldn't get the Toyota around the track, and Larson was going around with the wingless, Peugeot wingless, and he was just sticking to the track. I couldn't figure it out, so I tried the Peugeot wingless, and then everything was sticking to the track. I didn't have to change anything in the setups. But that's when I learned about the differences in the cars, front to rear, variations and motor maps, and brake regens, and Toyota, you also have to play a little bit with the differentials and the torque stuff. I'm not there yet.
Ellen says, my problem is I don't need to make setups anymore, so I don't enjoy driving the stock setups the most cars.
Yeah, I don't. Well, none of the default setups are good for any of the hypercars. And let me fix the text-to-voice speech there, because it just went on the fritz. Whoa, they have me parked all the way over there. Okay.
Mike Wolf, ELN says, Eden got a virus, JKS.
Bob has donated 2,500 gold and says looking good. This is a test message.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Okay. So she's fixed. Yeah, I really like the Peugeot. But I kind of...
Wolf BLN says, GG Bob.
So yeah. But yeah, all the default setups are really crappy. And I did not know that. So I just went on the track with the Toyota, and was miserable. Let's try it again, though. I have not tried the Toyota since the first time I did. Since that first initial hour of hell at the Lucelle track. And in every single corner, my brakes would lock up before I got to the apex. And even then, when we told me to max out the brake regen, after the apex on the
Michael
throttle,
BLN
I would
says,
lose the rear
I get
again.
it, some people like making setups, but for me, I just want to get in and drive.
Oh no, I love working on setups. They make such a difference. They make such a huge difference. See, this is what I need to change on the Toyota, and I don't know what to do here. So we're not going to do nothing. $52, okay. That seems adequate. Oh, let's try it out. Dang, this car likes to shift. Ooh, the brakes are bad compared to the Peugeot. Sounds like a Mazda to me. That sounds nothing like the FLA. I heard a rumor that Toyota was going to bring back the LFA, but that they were going to make it all electric. And I think that was a joke. Because I know Toyota doesn't really believe in electric vehicles. But if they make it hybrid, I won't like it either. The LFA just had such a great sound to that engine. Ooh, I can't stop.
Mike Wolf BLN says, rumor is Toyota are doing a Super GT3, so no more Lexus soon.
Really? They're gonna bring back the Supra? Are they gonna build their own Supra, or are they gonna go in it with the BMW version? Like, I don't understand Toyota going in with BMW.
Mike Wolf BLN says, looks like next year.
Are they gonna go in with the BMW version though?
Mike Wolf BLN says. BMW Vision no.
Okay, they're gonna come out with their own Supra. I never understood Toyota doing that. Supra was such an iconic car. I never liked it, but it was such an iconic car. And then they went in with BMW to make the newest version of it. And then for the 86, they went with Subaru.
Mike Wolf BLN says. 4,0 liter V8 twin turbo.
Oh boy. Okay, so they're even letting go of the 6-cylinder. Wasn't it a inline 6 3-liter? So they're going with 4-liter V8 twin turbo. Damn. Man, this car's brakes are bad. But at least I'm sticking on the track now with it. But I don't like the brakes on this car.
Mike Wolf BLN says. It looks like a cross between an Aston and Mercedes GT3.
I'll have to Google that. Yes, Toyota did some weird things that I didn't understand what they were doing. I know they're trying to cut costs, but... And I also agree that sports cars don't sell like they used to back in the 80s and 90s. Because everybody's into the SUV thing, and I get it, because it's also more practical for families and stuff. But you can still make a limited edition sports car. It's not like they had to revolutionize everything all over from A to Z. Just take all the problems the Supra had and fix them. Like, even the LFA should have been the next Supra, you know? That I never understood that either. They're not
Mike
renewing the
Wolf BLN
Supra,
says.
but...
OMG, it sounds so good.
Oh, somebody just sent me some stuff on Discord. I'll have to have a look at it. Yeah, let's go back to the garage here for a second. Because I want to see what the brake pressure is here. No, they have it at 95. So why isn't the car braking? Feels like it's half as powerful as a Peugeot. Hey, I can drive the Toyota now. Which I wasn't. Ooh, this car does not want to stop. And you have to get on the brakes a lot earlier in this car. Yeah, I just want to try them out to see if there's not one that would be better, that I like more than the Peugeot. I really like the Genesis. Thing with the Genesis is that the brakes are not as good as the Peugeot. Yeah, I never did get to understand Toyota. Instead of renewing the Supra, they decided to make a sports Lexus. I guess that's how they could justify selling it at the price that they were asking for. Still feel like it should have been a Supra. And then when they did decide to renew the Supra, they went with BMW. And with the 86, they decided to go with Subaru.
Mike Wolf BLN says. They were aiming at Thai American market and Supra was a bit to JDM.
Ooh, sorry. Toyota? Ferrari? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, if you want to partner up to save money, do it on an SUV or something. You know, do it on the cars that you're mass producing. That's where you're going to see the changes and the savings in the production. You're only building 1,000 cars a year. Why team up with somebody so that it doesn't cost you anything, and basically all you're doing is putting a name on a car that's not even yours? Okay, well that Mercedes hit me in the rear. Yeah, Toyota isn't fast either.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Well, Subaru only produced the GR86, all design was Toyota.
Yeah, but still it was a weird merger there. You know, some collaborations just didn't make sense for me. Ooh, I'm not braking. Yeah, you have to downshift more in this Toyota to get the braking to work. Ooh, stupid BMW. Trying to close up on me. Not a bad car. It kind of feels like the Genesis, in the sense that the braking is not as good. After trying all these hypers, I might stick with the Peugeot. Which I really like the look of the car too. I like the look of the Peugeot. Why is this Ferrari so slow? Is the Toyota really that much faster in a straight line?
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yet it's so far away from any other design.
Oh, I can't even spin those rear tires on this. What is it, all four-wheel drive electric? Up until you reach like 50 kilometers an hour? Sometimes I don't understand how these cars work.
Mike Wolf BLN says, no, there is no car but the Og Pug with 4 wheels drive.
All the cars have four-wheel drive. All these hypercars have four-wheel drive.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I meant the 150 kilometers per hour thing.
Yeah, the wingless Peugeot starts at 150, all the others start at 190. But when you see them leaving the pits in real life, they're all electric. Up until they remove the speed limiter. And yet in the game you hear the engines all throughout the pit lane. So I'm kind of confused.
Justin Slim Friesen says, in the FIA WEC hypercar class, all LMDH regulations cars and the non-hybrid LMH entries are rear-wheel drive, RWD, only.
Yeah, but if you listen to them leaving the pits, they're all electric up until they let go of the pit limiter, and then you can hear the gasoline engine kick in.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah.
Whereas here, when you leave the pits, you're already hearing your gasoline engine. But when I was on the side of the track there and tried to spin out my rear wheels, nothing happened. The rear wheels would not spin. I'm confused. How does this car work? Is it like electric up until 50 kilometers an hour and then the gasoline engine kicks in?
Mike Wolf BLN says, too much TCXD.
Yeah, it could be, but it's at 8. Even at 12 or 11 on the Peugeot, you want to rotate the car, you can do it. See, I'm trying to rotate it and Okay, it kind of works in the grass, but it doesn't on the pavement. Is it because of the TC? Let's go and try it the next corner. Is the TC way too aggressive in this car? Man, it is hard to flip it around. Yeah, it's really hard. Oh, I just broke an axle there. Yeah, this car is not good.
Justin Slim Friesen says. 4-wheel drive hypercars. Toyota GR010, hybrid Ferrari 499p, Peugeot 9X8. Justin Slim Friesen says. That's it.
That's
Mike
it.
Wolf BLN says. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But that's also the others.
Justin Slim Friesen says. I thought there were more as well.
Yeah. What about the Genesis? Since it's a new car, maybe it's not in the list.
Justin Slim Friesen says. That could be.
I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but the neighbor's out with his chainsaw again.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Google says no.
Google says that the Genesis is not a four-wheel drive. Okay. I just want to see if I can spin these cars around. That's a stupid thing to be trying. That Toyota does not want to spin. It's like nothing happens up until the car reaches like 20 kilometers an hour. Like if you're going through a chicane or anything and you're below 20 kilometers an hour and you try to floor it, nothing happens. It's like it slowly starts building up speed, and as soon as you reach like 20 kilometers, then it starts going, you know. Okay, let's just do that. Ooh, the brakes are at 100. That might be a little bit too much. But maybe like Wolf says, the brakes are really bad. So maybe you do need 100. I just want to see if I can spin these cars around. And I can't in the Toyota. It is so bad. Okay, well, it's braking, I can tell you that. Even on cold brakes. So Toyotas, Peugeots, and Ferraris have the advantage in the rain then, if they're four-wheel drive. Man, nothing happens. What's the traction control on this?
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yes.
I can't flip these cars around.
Mike Wolf BLN says. And weight distribution is better.
Okay, you really have to turn off the traction control though, because otherwise nothing happens. You can't flip these cars around. What the freak is going on with these cars? So why can you flip the four-wheel drives, but you can't flip... No. See the Genesis, I can flip it. Peugeots, I'm able to flip it, but now I'm trying out other cars and I can't flip them around. This is important things to know, folks, because when somebody's off track and they want to rejoin, it explains why they're going backwards and forwards rather than just flooring it and flipping the car around. Not saying it's always the best way to rejoin and whatnot, but if I'm facing the wrong way on the track and I need to flip my car around, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the car in reverse, go off track, put it in first gear, then rejoin. Just give it gas, flip the car around, and start going again. I'm surprised that you can't do it with certain cars. Oh, they squeezed me in there. Not happy. I wouldn't say the brakes are bad, though. They seem better than the Toyota. Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, Peugeot brakes are still better. This is more like the Genesis brakes, though. It ain't bad, I'm used to these. Strangely enough, I don't like the design of this Porsche car. Like, for me, it's a big turnoff that they don't put the round headlights on the wheel fenders in the front. I don't get it. Like, why would you not do it if you could? Like, they have these 4 little fog lights in the front bumper there. It doesn't scream Porsche to me. So actually, that's what I started doing. I started putting circle logos on those front fenders on the Porsches, because
Mike Wolf BLN says. The front reminds me of a droid from Star Wars.
yeah, I get that. I see where you're going with that. Yeah. I don't understand why they did that, though. Yeah, 100% these brakes have a tendency of locking up on me though. Yeah, the brakes feel like the Genesis. But strangely enough, I was told that the brakes on the Porsche were great. So whoever told me that was lying to me. And this is the car that Paul always drives. How does he drive it so fast if the car can't brake adequately? How is he so fast? Is it just because the car accelerates and has a better top speed? I mean, the brakes aren't that bad, but... Because you still see a lot of Porsches in hypercar races, and they're still very fast. Like, what's the advantage of this car over the others? Can I stick it in the corner? No. Okay. I guess it's just faster acceleration and better top speed. Ooh, went a little bit too far there. It did not grip as good as I wanted it to. See, strangely enough, it's about time I get around to trying out the other hypercars. Because yes, you know, I got into the GTs, tried the Corvette, went straight to Ferrari. Tried a couple of cars. Went to the McLaren. Kept trying the other cars every once in a blue moon. But I've been driving Hypers for 2 months now, so... Strange that I've only, like, been going around the tracks with the Genesis or the Peugeots, not trying out the others. 2 months is a long time to not be trying other cars. Which is, on the other hand, probably a good thing. I know a little bit more about the temperaments of these cars. If I would have tried them the first week, I would have hated them all the same. Can't drive these cars. Well, these default setups are really crappy as well. Okay, well, that's enough for this, I guess. Tonight is gonna be P3, LMP3 practice, then a mini race. I really hate the LMP3s. Don't know how that's gonna go. But okay, boys. I'm gonna call it quits here. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for giving me some information to go and check. So, okay, not all cars are four-wheel drive. Need to try those out. Gotta go and look at the Supra
Mike Wolf
stuff.
BLN says. B. Justin Slim Friesen says. Later, guys.
Laters. Big thank you.